Hi, it's Warren with ZenPro Audio. Welcome to ZenTV Weekly. It's been a long time since I've made one of these shows, and I do apologize for being away for so long. And I hope you're glad I'm back. In on sale news this week, the Phoenix Audio Nicerizer 16 Mark II. This is a 16x2 summing mixer. We actually created a summing mixer section in the Clipalator. You should go check this unit out. They are $1,000 off right now, and you can directly compare it to most 16x2 setups that we have here at ZenPro. If you're looking for that enhanced, like, wow, this is really, really different, big bass, big open airy top sound, that Nicerizer is a real standout. You should check it out, so save $1,000 too. Also on sale from Phoenix Audio, the DRSQ4M. This is their mono half-rack channel strip. It's their mic pre with 80 dB of gain. It's their nice DI, and it's a 4-band EQ with a high-pass filter on top of that, all rolled into one for $999. That's $600 off. We do still have some units left in stock on that, and I tell you, I have owned, you can't see it, but I've owned the DRSQ4 for years up in here because it's not only one of the nicest pre's you could ever want, that EQ is very, very special as well. New brands. The black box analog design guys have got a tube pre that is probably the most versatile tube pre that we've ever used. This thing will do everything from clean, and it does have an extremely clean sort of setting to it, to also extremely colored, but also it kind of acts as a tilt EQ. You've got control over the pentode and triode of this tube design. And it's almost like using, a tilt EQ on the one hand, and then you have these tone positions that you can boost different ranges. You can boost the mid-range for harmonic content, distortion. You can also get more of an air distortion things as well. The staging that's available is really unbelievable if you really like to push a pre and you want to hear a difference. And it's got a full attenuator output as well, so you'll never overload your analog converters either. So very cool unit. You should check out the black box on the site. Alta Moda Audio, mainly their 500 series stuff. We have the Hippo, which is their SSL style stereo bus compressor, as well as their AM25 4-band EQ. All of these units are on the way. I do expect them to arrive here next week at ZenPro, and I hope to be adding them to the Clipalator. Very excited by that, by feedback that I've actually gotten from our customers over the months about Alta Moda, so we are on board with them now as well. In the now shipping department, the Yamaha HS8. Now, we sell these stock or fully modified like we used to with the previous HS80M model. The HS8 is an improved model. They've done a wonderful job at swapping out the drivers for just a better mid-range experience. First of all, they really have a nice way, especially for an 8-inch. I'm amazed at how it keeps those mids out there. And a more extended top as well. We had received a few of those earlier in the year, and they flew right back out the door. But I'm telling you, back there in the warehouse, it's like Yamaha Mountain back there right now. Our mod is $8.99 a pair, just as it was before. So you're actually getting a better speaker and the exact same electronic mod that we were always doing on those Yamaha speakers. Lindell Audio, the 18XS, which is his channel strip, which is a 990 style preamp, married to a solid-state Pultec EQ. Those units are here in stock. I wish you could see it, but I own that now as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful unit. I don't know how Lindell is doing it. $8.99 out the door. You just cannot go wrong. His 17XS FET compressor. This is what formerly was called the 17X. This is the third of that price version of that same compressor, using Lindell's custom audio transformers, and it's not built in Europe either, for $8.99. But here's what's so cool is that we're actually doing a ZenPro mod to these new units that brings the action of that compressor right to the original 17X. This is one of the smoothest FET compressors that we had ever heard at any price. At $2,900 street, it was hard for most people to grab a hold of one. So now for $8.99 plus a few more bucks for our mod, you can experience the exact same compressor. Really amazing stuff, and it's sitting back over here next to my 18XS. For a limited time, if you purchase the 18XS and the 17XS as a channel strip, buy them at the same time, we'll actually do the mod for no charge. Okay, you can mention that to me, and I may end up adding that to the site pretty soon here as well. The Warm Audio Tonebeast, or the TB12. That mic pre is now here in stock. I also just added it to the Clipalator. We figured that there were 24 different combinations available on the Tonebeast. We printed all of them. I uploaded 10 of those 24 combinations to the Clipalator so that you can hear it without a transformer, with a transformer, with different kinds of op amps and capacitors. So you can go in there and check it out first. $5.99 street. They are in here on the shelf and ready to go. Very, very versatile unit. The Heritage Audio, the 73 Jr. This is their single space 500 series 1073 preamp. They've done a wonderful job. We like to say that it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. It looks like what you're trying to emulate, a Neve 1073. They've used Carnhill transformers and premium parts in these units. Wonderful. $8.99 straight. Stick it in your 500 rack and go. We have them to ship instantly here. The Tonelux Equalux. This is their stereo rack EQ. A little bit different from the 500 series or the V-Rack versions before. The nice thing about that Tonelux is that it has overlapping bands, and you can also choose wide or narrow Q as far as the width. So you can do what's called the Pultec trick. Like, for example, you could take a drum bus or a mix or a kick drum, and you could boost, say, 60 cycles with a very wide Q, and then you could also cut at the same time at 60, and it gives you this really spread out, fat sort of low end sound. So you could experiment with that. Those Equalux EQs are very nice. Tracking, mixing, I don't care. The sucker sounds great and has a very sweet, it's clean, but it's a sweet kind of tone to it. We have plenty here to ship instantly. Also the Tonelux Tilt EQ. This is his 8-channel, very, very straightforward multi-channel EQ, where kind of like if you think about an old stereo's EQ, you know, it's a tilt. You're going brighter and kind of thinner on the bottom, and the opposite, you're going fatter and a little darker. Boy, as far as getting something together real quick during the tracking process, where you're typically just sort of brightening or darkening things or fattening them up, that tilt can really get you going. We do have multiple units on the shelf ready to go. In Clipalator news, the Tonebeast, as I mentioned, is in there. The Song Falcon 500. Now this is an opto-style analog compressor. It uses a tube for a gain makeup stage, but it's not actually an opto. So the cool thing is that this extremely complex unit has been really, really engineered heavily to put into your hands a compressor that you can just kind of say slow, medium, fast, and just control sort of anything you want. Wonderful, wonderful unit. The thought behind it for me is that you're getting what a great opto does, but years from now, it won't float, it won't shift in tone and action because of old aging cells. So that's one advantage of that. You really should check that out in the Clipalator right now. That sucker is just amazing. The Golden Age PreQ73, that's their preamp with high and low shelving EQs. We have it tested as a preamp and an EQ in there, and it sounds great. You should see it. The Lindell 17XS. I mentioned earlier that's his FET compressor that we do a mod on. I printed stock and mod of the exact same tracks in the Clipalator for you to check out. What I would suggest is compare it to the $2,900 original 17X. Compare that to the tracks that are labeled 17XS mod under that unit, and you tell me. It's the same. You just get to pay a third as much for it. And also the Tonelux Equalux, the rack unit being a little different than the 500, we did go ahead and print fresh tracks for that as well. In other ZenPro news, I really want to direct your attention towards our GIK acoustics video. We took our 900 square foot space after expanding around here, and we were able to use it as just a big live tracking area. We've got grand piano, we've got drums, we've got acoustic guitars, and we've got female vocals. What we did was we actually tracked each of those things in a bare room, and then we marked every spot, every camera position, used the same microphone, everything. Treated the room using nothing but GIK acoustics panels and diffusers, and then we put everything back and recreated the situation, and we recorded everything so that you hear that, it sounds like what used to be a garage, which is what the space is. it's transformed into this usable space. It's drier, but not too dry. It's very natural. The kind of situation where now you have control to where you can add reverb later to achieve that sort of sound. Very proud of that video. You should check it out. It's on the YouTube channel. And that is everything I can think of for this week here at ZenPro. Again, I'm very, very thankful to be back, and I hope that you're glad that I'm back as well. And we will keep up with this show from here on out, I do promise. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week.